In a previous broadcast, I talked to you about creation versus evolution. Life is too complicated for evolution to have produced. Let's make that number one. I want to talk to you still about creation versus evolution. Life is still too complicated for evolution to have produced. Previously, I talked to you about, the living cell, and the fact that Dr. Michael Baugh, Richard Lowenton, and others have published that the cell is so complicated that everything must be specifically in place simultaneously, or that cell is destined for fatality in a very short order. In fact, it has been discussed and discovered and reported by Joseph Mastropalo, a bona fide biologist, that just the protein structure in a living cell, 60,000 of those proteins averaged in a living cell, if those just, let's grant the evolutionists the protein to begin with, that they're in place but they must be assembled in a specific order. Now, for a moment, let's just grant that he has the proteins. What's the chance that those proteins could self-assemble, and it must be very quickly done, or the organism will die? What are the odds that they could assemble specifically in order for that cell to function? Those 60,000 proteins in 100 specific configurations. The chances are one chance in 10 to the 4,478,296 power. That's incredible. Granting the evolutionist the protein that he can't produce, that nature can't produce, yet they must be in place, in position, all specifically for it to function at all. Then I talked to you about the bacterial flagellum that must of necessity be in place functioning for us to function. But I want to close today's short broadcast with the following. The brain's complexity is far more complex than we had ever imagined. It had been stated previously that it's the most complicated single organism in the entire universe. In fact, in the technical literature, it's admitted that one single brain is more complicated than all of the myriads of stars and galaxies in the entire universe in their elemental chemical composition. The brain is incredible. Now it's been published by E.A. Moore, and the human brain has more switches than all computers, in the CNET News, in the secular journals, the following: the brain's complexity is beyond anything we had imagined. The total number of synapses, connections in a brain, roughly equal the number of stars in 1,500 Milky Way galaxies. One synapse may contain on the order of 1,000 molecular scale switches. A single human brain has more switches than all the computers and routers and internet connections on Earth. He simply stated that our Milky Way galaxy, with over 500 million stars, is not as complex. In fact, it would take 1,500 of those Milky Way galaxies to just number in the stars the synapses in a single human brain. Life is too complicated for evolution to have produced.